Hey, I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex, back with my segment on board games coming to retail. These are games that are coming to retail in July and August 2021. You don't need all those Kickstarter extras and upgrades. They're just gonna break your wallet. These are good games that are fairly cheap because they're the retail version and they're going to be easy to buy, and that's what I like, okay? That's what I like, so that's why I'm bringing you board games coming to retail. And by the way, these have everything you need. You know, they might not have like resin cubes or something like that, but they're not going to sell a game in retail that's missing stuff. So I think you should check these out. Board games coming to retail July, August 2021. 25th Century Games is releasing two games that I'm excited about. One is On the Rocks, which is a marble drafting game about fulfilling drink orders. And one, I like marbles, and two, I like booze. So, seems like a pretty good combination for me. There's not that many good marble games out there that I can think of. I love Potion Explosion, and so, you know, if On the Rocks can kind of fit that world a little bit with the fun marbles and you clink them together and all that stuff, then I'm very excited for it. The other one from 25th Century Games that's coming out is Tutankhamum, which is right here, actually. I have it. I haven't gotten it to the table yet, but I'm very excited to. This is a reprint of an old Reiner Knizia game from the 90s, and 25th Century updated the art and the components, and boy, I gotta tell you, 1990s board game art was rough. Ugh. So this is a much needed refresher, and in the game you are moving pieces along the Nile River and trying to take it's a set collection where you're trying to take different artifacts that are along the Nile River, and I'm excited to play. It sort of fits into that easy to get to the table, 30 minutes, anybody can play type of game, which is the type of game I really like. All right, what else do we have? Brotherwise Games, which is known for Call to Adventure and Boss Monster and things like that, has The Dragon Prince Battlecharged. This is based on an animated series, and I have not seen the animated series, so I can't speak to that, but I can speak to this is an accessible game with really cool miniatures. And that is rare. You know, I mean, most miniature games are these epic, multiple hour affairs, and I just don't have the patience to get into them. I'm like, maybe I'm just gonna buy this game to look at the miniatures. You know, I'm not even gonna play the game. But this is a game that plays in 30 minutes that has really cool miniatures in it. And I think that makes me intrigued, all right? We're at this point in the board game industry where production value and production design is just getting so cool. You know, you used to have to spend $150 to get a game with cool miniatures, and now you can get a game with cool miniatures for like $40. You know, it's just, I like that trend a lot because it's really opening the hobby to a bunch of new people, which we need. Open it, baby. Open it. Get everybody in here. Come on, let's all play games together. That's my motto. Buffalo Games is releasing a game to retail called Summer Camp. This game has a lot of hype online. I've been seeing a lot of people posting about it, and I can get why. Okay, I get it. Summer Camp, those are some of the most fun days of my life, okay? And if this game can capture the experience of hanging out with your friends at summer camp, then who wouldn't want that? You know? I will say, I loved camp growing up. I was not one of those camp kids, right? There were some camp kids that just took it way too seriously, and I was not that. I loved camp, but I also loved doing pranks and messing with those types of people. One of the best pranks I ever did was every morning at camp, we would raise the flag, and there was a flagpole, and every cabin had the honor of doing it a different morning. And in the middle of the night one time, I climbed the flagpole and used clear tape to tape the pulley system, the rope to the pole, and the next morning the kids were out there trying to be like, oh, I can't, why is it, and nobody could see why, because you can't see the clear tape, and they're pulling it, and they're looking at their counselors like, we can't get the flag up, and then other kids started freaking out because they were like, we have to raise the flag, we do it every morning, it's not camp if we don't raise the flag. And so I'm sitting there trying not to laugh as literally kids are crying and falling apart around me, just, we're nothing if we don't raise the flag. The camp director was like, hey, look, I'm legitimately impressed that someone was able to climb this, so if you can take the tape off right now, no repercussions, you won't get in trouble at all. And so I climbed the flagpole, took the tape off, and became a camp legend. So I'm really hoping that summer camp can really capture that experience for me in a board game form. Capstone Games is releasing the game Rorschach, which is based on those splotches of ink. And I gotta tell you, this game seems dangerous, okay? You might learn some things about your friends that you didn't want to learn, you know? Hey, what's this? Oh, it's a knife dripping with blood. No, this is an apple pie. How did you get that? Oh, I don't know how I got it. Yeah, do you want to learn that about your friends? Because play Rorschach and you might learn some secrets. Czech Games Edition is releasing their new edition of Galaxy Trucker, and I've never played the original edition of Galaxy Trucker, and I know it's a game that seems polarizing, and I'm not sure why. I've heard both people online being like, it's my favorite game ever, or like, I hate that game, I don't want to play it. But I'm excited to try a new edition because, you know, generally new editions are going to be upgrades. They're going to update the art, the components, maybe even tweak some of the rules based on feedback. So if you like Galaxy Trucker, there is a new version coming to retail right now. All right. Next up, we have, what else we got? There is a new version, or I should say, I guess an expansion, MicroMacro Crime City Full House Edition. MicroMacro, to a lot of, you know, is nominated for the Spiel des Jahres for 2020, and this is a expansion to MicroMacro. And, you know, if you don't know, MicroMacro is kind of like Where's Waldo, the game, where you're trying to follow, there's this huge map, and you're trying to follow clues to figure out what happened. And MicroMacro Crime City Full House includes 16 new cases for you to solve. So if you've played your way through the first game, then get this, because it'll just make it that much more replayable for you, give you a bunch of new things to solve. Fantasy Flight Games is releasing Descent Legends of the Dark, which is not the third edition of Descent. They make that very clear. You know, we had Descent Journeys in the Dark, which was the second edition, and they're like, no, this is not the third edition. This is a new Descent. Well, isn't that the third edition then? This is the third one that's come out. Yeah. It's not the third edition, but it's the third one that's come out. Yes, it is the third one, but it's not the third. Okay, well, I don't understand the logic there, but sure. Sure, if that's what you want to go with, Fantasy Flight Games, it is the third version of Descent. It is not the third edition of Descent. This is really funny. There's been some controversy around the game because the price point is $175, and a bunch of people online are like, get bent. 175, why? Right now, on Board Game Geek, Descent, which hasn't even come out to most people, has a 5.3 rating. So that means there's just a lot of board game geeks that are like, screw you for trying to steal my money, okay? I'm rating this a 1, and I don't care if I've never played it before. That's so funny to me. But if you like Descent, you know, it's one of the sort of classic dungeon crawler games. It's one of the ones that really defined the dungeon crawler genre. And so there is a new version, not a third edition, Descent Legends of the Dark. Forbidden Games is releasing Lizard Wizard. Boy, Forbidden Games loves a title that has an animal and rhymes. They are known for Raccoon Tycoon. Now they have Lizard Wizard. That becomes a tongue twister all of itself. Raccoon Tycoon, Lizard Wizard. Raccoon Tycoon, Lizard Wizard. Raccoon Tycoon, Lizard Wizard. Wow, I did that better than I thought I was going to. Lizard Wizard is a strategic action selection game set in a world of magic and intrigue. Ooh. And if I do it like this, it makes it even more intriguing. Forbidden Games has put out a lot of great games, though, and so there's no reason not to check this one out. And I like rhyming, you know? There's a reason they're doing it. Lizard Wizard coming out to retail. Funko Games is releasing The Goonies Never Say Die, and anytime there is a game based on an IP that I love, I'm pretty nervous. I'm like, please don't ruin it for me, okay? The Goonies is a perfect movie, and I don't need you ruining it, Funko. But it was designed by Prospero Hall, and Prospero Hall has made a lot of great games based on IPs. You know, they made the Back to the Future game, which was very fun, and so look, they've earned some equity right here. If it was anybody else making The Goonies Never Say Die other than Prospero Hall and Funko Games, I would be skeptical. But they're doing it, and I want to try it, okay? Because Goonies Never Say Die. And yes, I have seen that movie way too much, but that's okay, all right? And the cover is really awesome. It's like a cool scene, but it's also a skull. Artists are clever, you know? I could never come up with something like that, but I love it, all right? So, all right, next up we have, let's see, I'm scrolling through some stuff here. Yellow is putting out Sticky Cthulhu, and I love a silly dexterity game, and this matches that description perfectly. In Sticky Cthulhu, you have a literal sticky tentacle, and you are trying to slap creatures to earn them, and I think you're trying to like get a set of different creatures, and so you're just slapping this sticky tentacle down onto the table and trying to get it to stick to different cards so you can earn them. And man, if that doesn't sound like a silly good time, then I don't know what does. That's something I'll be carrying. I'm gonna ruin the game. I'm gonna ruin my sticky tentacle because I'm not just gonna use it for the game. I'm gonna be like trying to get something out of the fridge, like ha ha. I'm just gonna be using my tentacle, trying to change the channel. Oh, the remote's over there. Whapa, whapa. Man, I'm excited for it. Cosmos is releasing The Adventures of Robin Hood, which is also nominated for the Spiel des Jahres, so you know it is a good game. They make so many Robin Hood movies. I'm burned out on Robin Hood movies. How many versions of this classic tale can we have? But there are not too many Robin Hood board games. I know of a couple out there, but I'm excited for another Robin Hood board game, and you know, let's get to this point where, you know, we're beating this dead horse just like the movies, okay? We're not there yet. We need more board games based on Robin Hood, and so I want to check this out. And, you know, if it's been nominated for a big award like that, it's at least going to be a pretty good game. So, Cosmos is also releasing The Crew Mission Deep Sea, which is the successor to The Crew Deep Space Nine. It takes The Crew, which is a cooperative trick-taking game, which is the first of its kind to my knowledge, and it takes the setting, and instead of being in deep space, you are now in deep sea, okay? You can only be in deep places. You can be in deep space, you can be in deep sea. The next version is going to be The Crew Deep Trouble. You got to be in deep places to play The Crew. All right, what do we have next? Leader Games is releasing Oath, and this is not my game, okay? I know a lot of people are saying great things about it. I cannot handle games that are too complicated, that are too hard to learn, okay? My eyes glaze over, and I just can't do it. So if you want to play Oath, it is coming to retail. Good luck to you. You better know games pretty well to be able to get into it. And by the way, we need to be protective of how we introduce people to the hobby. I was at a party recently, and this guy who never played any games was like, yeah, somebody made me play a game recently, and I didn't like it. And I was like, can you remember anything about the game? And he was like, well, it was like a weird game where like everybody had to play a different game. And everybody had a different way that they were playing it, and everybody was like different woodland creatures. And I was like, did somebody make you play Root? And he was like, yeah, that's it, yeah. And I was like, man, somebody made you play Root for your first game out of the gate? Come on, you can't make somebody do that. That's too big of a leap from Uno. You can't go from Uno to Root. So make sure to only play Oath with experienced game players, okay? That is my plea to you. What else do we have coming out? We also have Pandasaurus Games is releasing The Loop, and oh, I love anything time travel, okay? The Loop is you're fighting an evil Dr. Foe throughout time, and you're traveling through time to fight him, and I am so much on board with that theme. Plus, The Loop has this really cool table presence where there's this like cool thing in the middle of the table. I don't want to like spoil it or whatever for you, but it's got a cool table presence where there's this like little tower in the middle of the table in the game, and I think it looks really cool. And sign me up for time travel, okay? If you could go back into time, to any time that you could go back into, I'm going back in time to the day Loop comes out. Okay, that's what I've decided. I want to play Loop, and that's where I'm traveling to. Portal Games is releasing $1 Million Script. This is a party game where two teams of writers pitch their blockbuster script to a Hollywood executive, and I'm going to say no thank you, all right? I live this life in real life. I have pitched many scripts to Hollywood executives, and the answer is always no, and I don't need a board game that makes me relive that experience, okay? Oh, we love the idea. Okay, well, let me follow up through an email. Never get a response. That's Hollywood for you, baby. So I don't really need to relive that. Look, Redshift Games, I know absolutely nothing about this game, but Redshift Games is releasing a game called Kittens in a Blender, and that is an intriguing title. Kittens in a Blender? Kittens will be blended. Make sure they're not yours in this fast-paced game. Like I said, I have no idea what this game is about. But you call it Kittens in a Blender, and I am on board. Put those kittens in a blender! All right, that's what I have for you. Check out those games. Those are mostly games I'm excited about coming to retail, and a couple that I'm not. Thank you guys so much. Keep watching my videos. Thank you. Bye.